Now, one of the problems of playing Shakespeare is not only the example I just gave about coming off stage and still being infected by the character. That's one thing. Another thing is that when you come on the stage, before you can say, "Now is the winter of our discontent," somebody in the audience is bound to say, "Oh, I prefer Sir Laurence Olivier," because he made such an impression. Before you can say, "To be or not to be," somebody else might be saying, "Oh, I think Sir John Gielgud, oh, so much better handled the verse." So when you step on the stage, you are in fact competing with the ghosts of the past. And Sir Laurence Olivier stands there like this great mental hologram, yes, by heaven. And you can't get rid of him. You want to get on the stage and say, "Move over, Larry, give me a chance." And you can't. So what can you do? What can you do as an actor? Because you have this example and he's on film. You can go to your video library and see him and say, "Oh, that's rather good." So you have to compete with that. And so you have to find an original way of playing Shakespeare. Try to find something completely different. What can you do? You try to perhaps play it modern. You might play it, science fiction. You can play it nude, play it gay. But you have to find an original way of capturing the imagination of the audience. Because the imagination of the audience, if you like, is like a great whale. And you are the character in Moby Dick. What's his name? Captain Ahab, pulling in the great whale, that great audience's imagination. You've got to harness it somehow. And many, many actors have tried. The streets of London are littered with the corpses of actors who flew into the great monument of Sir Laurence, boing, fell to earth. So you have to find a really different way of doing it. And some actors have done this. Sir Ian McKellen, brilliant actor, knighted for his service to the theatre. He played Richard III as a kind of neo-Nazi, a brilliant conception, which proved the universality of Shakespeare, that you could set it in the 30s as a Nazi and the lines, the ideas would fit because the psychology is virtually the same. And Sir Ian McKellen used guns and tanks and planes to blast Sir Laurence off the stage. But he still stood there. And of course, a great actor, one of the greatest actors of our time, who straddles, like Sir Ian, both stage and film, and particularly now in film, Al Pacino is still looking for Richard. He made a film called Looking for Richard, rather remarkable film, an investigation into how do we make Shakespeare relevant today? How do we make it? What does it mean to us? What is the verse? A lot of people carp on about the verse, the iambic pentameter, and some gurus in England, who I call iambic fundamentalists, have absolutely set ideas how you do it. Because one great iambic fundamentalist in England says, when you do the verse, you must always remember iamb is Greek for 5. So it's now is the winter of our discontent. But never forget to breathe at the end of the line, because the next line should be not contaminated by the previous line's breath. So you say, now is the winter of our discontent. A glorious summer by the Son of York. So of course Al Pacino went to England in this film, interviewed all these great gurus of iambic fundamentalism to find out how one does the text. And everybody has a theory about it, you see. But I think in the end you have to make it true to yourself. And we still in England regard the Shakespearean actor and the actor on the same level as the great scientists, the great explorers, the wonderful great entrepreneurs, the great novelists, by knighting the actor. It's wonderful, isn't it? You get a knighthood for being an actor, but that knighthood is only given usually when you have proven yourself in Shakespeare. Because Shakespeare is the great Everest, and you have to climb this great Everest of the iambic pentameter. And then, one day, you may kneel before Her Majesty and be knighted. I happen to live in London near a knight. Yes, I live in the same street as Sir Ian McKellen. And sometimes I see him walking down the street, clad in all that armor. Wonderful.